Hey guys, it's Abby, and in today's video I want to talk to you about not rushing God and about the season of preparation. And this is something that God has just kind of been speaking to me about lately and kind of teaching me and showing me more about His timing and about different seasons, the seasons of preparation, the seasons of, sowing and reaping and harvesting. So it's been on my heart, so I really just wanted to share with you all what He's been showing me. So first, I want to say I know it can be frustrating when, there's something that you've been praying for and believing for and walking through, and, you're just not seeing it happen fast enough or, in the way that you wanted, whether it's, some kind of breakthrough in a job, a career, finances with your spouse or future spouse, all of these things that we're believing for and that we're trusting for and praying for, more often than not, they don't happen when we would want them to. And although a lot of times later on, we see why, in the moment, it can be really frustrating and really hard to understand. And I know a lot of times it can lead to doubt, anger, and sometimes I've even heard people say that they start to distance themselves from God because they start trying to take it into their own hands instead and saying, well, God, you're not doing it as fast as I would want to, or you're not doing what I want, so I'm just going to take this into my own hands and I'm going to do it. And that's not the right way to go about it, but I know a lot of times in these situations that is what happens, and those are kind of the thoughts that go through our head. And so something that I've been kind of learning and walking in more is just understanding that there's seasons of sowing and there's seasons of reaping. There's seasons of preparation and then what you've been preparing for. And so a verse that I thought was really awesome is Galatians 6:9 in the Passion Translation. It says, "And do not allow yourselves to be weary or disheartened in planting good seeds, for the season of reaping the wonderful harvest you've planted is coming." And I just think that's so awesome because, it's in the Word, and it's basically, saying that I understand, that you are going to feel weary and you are going to feel disheartened and you are going to feel all of those things, and that's okay. But to just not allow yourselves to feel that way, because whatever you're sowing, you're going to reap, and it's coming. And I know it's hard a lot of the times when you see people around you that are maybe advancing in those areas that you want, whether it is marriage, maybe your friends are getting married, or all of your friends are graduating, or all of your, people around you have these awesome jobs, or, are buying new houses, or, all of these things that you see around you that maybe you don't have yet. And I know it's hard to see that. And, just asking, well, why, God, why are they getting these things? And I've been believing and I've been asking you for them, but I'm not seeing it. A lot of times that's what we think. And one thing that I've always been a really, really big, firm believer of is that if God is making you wait, it's because there are things that He needs to teach you, or things in your heart that need to change, things that He needs to show you, things that you need to walk through, so that when He takes you to that place, to that breakthrough, to whatever it is that you've been believing for, He's preparing you so that when you get there, you don't fall flat on your face. Because if you try to rush God and get there before His appointed time, you're not going to be ready. You're not going to be ready, because He was saying, but I needed to teach you this, or you needed to learn this, I needed to show you this, but you rushed me. And now it's not even the way that you wanted it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've just always believed that if God's making you wait for something that you've been believing for, it's because He's teaching you things along the way that when you get there, you're going to say, wow, God, I'm so glad I walked through that, because it's so helpful in where I'm at now. Or if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have been able to be successful where I am now because of the things that you taught me in that season of preparation. That's just something that I believed. And God just really dropped something in my heart 3 or 4 days ago. I can't remember. But He just told me, never mistake a season where God is preparing you for Him not listening to you. And that just hit me so hard because, sometimes in these moments, you feel like, can you even, like, God, can you hear me? Are you listening? And of course he is. Of course he's listening, and of course he hears you. But he's preparing you. So it's so important to make sure that you know the difference between the two. That the preparation doesn't mean that he's not listening, or that he's, mad at you, or like spitefully making you wait, because he doesn't do that. He puts these desires in your heart, and he's a good father, and he wants to give you all of these things, but he's preparing you, and it's all for good, and it's all for his glory, and that when you get to that place, you're going to say, thank you, God, because without that, I wouldn't have been able to be where I am now. So that's just something that he dropped in my heart a couple of days ago, and I've really been kind of chewing on that, and just it really brought a lot of peace for me. And then a verse that I talk about really often, or I bring up really often, because it's one of my absolute favorites, and I had never read it in the Message version, and I read it in the Message version today, and I really loved it. It's Habakkuk 2:3, and it says, This vision message is a witness pointing to what's coming. It aches for the coming. It can hardly wait, and it doesn't lie. If it seems slow in coming, wait. It's on its way. It will come right on time. And I thought that was so awesome. That's one of my favorite verses. And so just to read, that it aches for the coming. God he's waiting to give us these things. He wants to birth all of these desires and give you the breakthrough that you've been waiting for, and he's just waiting for the right time. And I love that it says it can hardly wait, and it doesn't lie. If he put a desire in your heart, just because it's taking a while to happen doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And it says it will come right on time, right at the time that he has appointed that to happen. Right on time, it's going to happen. So it might seem slow, it might seem, disheartening at times, but the word says that it will come right on time, and the word does not return void. So just believe and keep pressing that you're going to see that breakthrough, and you're going to see everything that you've been praying for come to fruition in your life. And also, in waiting, it's just like if you're thinking if you plant something, whether it be a crop, whether it be a flower, or, something that you have to plant, something that you have to pull out. If you pull out whatever it is that you've planted before it's ready, you're going to ruin it. You spoil it, especially if you pull out the root. It's not going to grow back in that same space. So I think it's just really important to remember that when you try to jump ahead of God, and when you try to make things happen on your own, and you try to make them happen before it's time, you're pulling out the root. You're pulling out what you've planted, and what he's been cultivating in you, and you're pulling it out before it's ready, and if it's ready, it's gonna die. So I just think that's really, really important to remember, is just, wait on the Lord, and don't harvest that before it's ready, because it's gonna die, and you're gonna ruin it. And so just more in the season of preparation, I have two examples from the Word that I really, really love, and I think I've talked about this one before, but it's from the Old Testament, where when a man and a woman were going to get married, the husband would go away to prepare the home and to prepare the place where him and his family were going to be, and the wife, no matter how long it took, every single day, she would get ready as if that was her wedding day. She would, put on whatever it is she was going to wear. She would bathe. She would put on perfume. She would do her hair every day in preparation of that possibly being the day that he comes back, not knowing if it's going to be that day or not. And, the bridesmaids would get oil in their lamps every day. They would constantly have to make sure that they had oil for when the bridegroom came back, if it was in the night, that they had light to guide the way to the ceremony. And so I just think that's really, really awesome, because in all of those days of preparation, every day they're preparing as if that was the day of the ceremony. And I guess our case, is if that's the day that you're going to get your breakthrough and see the harvest of what you've been believing for. And that's the celebration, just like the wedding celebration. That's the celebration of, what he's walked you through. And so I think that's really awesome. Another example is David. As a shepherd boy in 1 Samuel 17, it says that he would kill a lion or a bear with his hands or with a club when they would come and try to attack the flock of sheep that he was herding over. And I thought that was so awesome because with that preparation, he was able to defeat Goliath. And I just think that's so awesome because it just shows the different stages, and that throughout all of it, even though at one point he was already king and he was still kind of being treated as a servant, he was humble enough to have that humility to still go through all of the preparation that ultimately led to his great victory. And I just think that's so awesome, and it's such a great encouragement for us. So just to remember that your season of preparation prepares you for victory, the victory in your life, and just don't rush God, because like I just said, that preparation leads to your ultimate victory. And it's just so awesome when you see that. And so in this season of preparation, it's just really, really important to press into God and press into the things of God. Because in John 15:5 it says, "Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing." And I just think that's really awesome to remember because, like I said, if we try to do these things on our own, we're going to fail because the Word says right here that apart from Him, we can do nothing. But it also says in the Word that through Him, we can do all things. So I just think that's so, so awesome to remember. And also just to remember that, like I said, He doesn't want to not give you the desires of your heart. He placed those desires in your heart. And Him, more than anyone, wants to see them come to pass because they're all for His honor and glory and for the kingdom. So in Psalm 37, verse 4, in the Passion Translation as well, it says, "Make God the utmost delight and pleasure of your life, and He will provide for you what you desire the most." Whatever it is that you desire, as long as you take delight in the Lord and worship Him and give Him honor and glory for everything that He's done for you, He will provide for you what you desire most. So just embrace the wait and the preparation. Whether, I don't know what you're going through, whether you're in school, whether you're working 2 or 3 jobs, whether you're a single mom or whether you're just not where you want to be, whether you're waiting for a spouse, whatever it is that you're believing for, a new house, a new car, whatever it is that you're believing for, just embrace and wait the preparation because it leads to the ultimate victory. And I believe that throughout the preparation as well, you see victory there as well that you wouldn't have seen if you had rushed ahead of God. And so I just wanted to encourage you all with that and just kind of share with you what I've been, what the Lord has been showing me and what He's been teaching me. And I pray that it's encouraging to you as well. And I just pray that you can embrace this season of preparation in your life. And that's all I have for you guys. God bless you.